Okay, I think it is currently live right now. Hey guys, what's up? It's your rich auntie. It's Ty Guidance. Welcome or welcome back. Teachings with Ty, Talks with Ty. It is currently the afternoon time, the evening time, and I believe it's March. Well, I know it's March. I'm just looking at my phone, you guys, if you see me looking down. Today is March 17th and it is Friday, and I think it's St. Patrick's Day. And not even knowing, like I knew St. Patrick's Day was coming up, but I have on green, you guys. So what's up, everyone? Actually, give me one moment. This is just so unprofessional, but if you're new here, just give yourself a brief moment. And for those of you who are returning, welcome or welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, this is a wig. I'm about to slide it up, okay? One thing about it, two things for sure on this channel, we are very open with ourselves and being comfortable and vulnerable. So if you're someone who has insecurities and you want to like overcome them, this is going to be the place for you. So that being said, I can't tell you what to do or how to feel. I'm just going to speak from a place of experience. And in real life, I am a naturopathic physician. I am a doctor, but I also post on YouTube, and I have been posting on YouTube since 2019. Okay, so give me one second because my computer is about to die and I just started this live and I don't want it to die as I'm making this video for you guys. So give me one second. I'm so sorry. I did not know my computer was about to die, and so I decided to get off my phone, which I'm going to do too because I want to have you guys' undivided attention and vice versa. I think, it's rude. So give me one second, you guys. Hold on. Okay, so we're 2 minutes into the live. I just want to say that anytime that I post live videos, they are literally live. There is no outline. Majority of the times, if I set a live video and it's intentional, then yes, I would have like my notebook and an outline to follow, like your everyday basic program, because I want these videos to be entertaining just as informative and educational. So with that being said, because on this channel, I cannot tell you what to do or how to feel. I'm just here to suggestionize content when it comes to healing yourself. So for those of you who are returning, you guys know the deal. And if not, once again, I'm Ty Guidance, your favorite rich auntie, the rich auntie. And once again, I'm a naturopathic physician, holistic healer, life coach, motivational speaker, just your rich auntie. If you're not content with label, because I need you to know that when it comes to your healing journey and when it comes to you being who you are, acceptance is one of the most important things. And the title does not define you. Like, I'm not somebody who allows titles and status to determine my worth because it's just the label. And that's the same thing when it comes to your healing. I don't like to label any of my clients and say that you have ADHD, OCD, 1, 2, 3. Like, I'm really against labels, but I like to break them down so you're able to understand a different perspective, because that's what life is all about. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video, is just accepting that perspective is really important when it comes to healing and just everyday experiences. And I think that's the title for today's video. And because I'm very open and honest with myself, there is no right or wrong way for me to express how I feel and being vulnerable. That's why I chose to continue to make live videos. I feel like it's more authentic compared to the daily uploads. But because I've been having this channel since 2019 and the goal is to have sustainability and long term, there is no right or wrong way for me to express that. So anybody who's choosing to support this channel, you're supporting yourself just as much as me, because I'm just on a vibration, and that's what life is about. As you're healing yourself, is just understanding the energies that are for you, the energies that may not have the best intentions, and just discernment and discerning. And because all of us go through trials and tribulations, there is no right or wrong way to discern energies or live your life. That's why if these videos are for you, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on our Instagram and Twitter at Guidance to stay up to date, as well as TikTok. And if you are interested in this session, go to my website at tyguidance.com. All the information will be in the description. And because I have not been on YouTube like how I used to, because I do run a business in real life and have just real things going for myself. I will be updating the description. Right now, I think it just has my website, but throughout the live videos, I like to enter in the chat, all of our social media platforms to follow us if you need any more guidance and healing. And as someone who does this in real life and has been running a business for a very long time now, I'm just learning to accept that what works for you and me may not work for everybody. That's why I never want anybody to feel invalidated. So on this channel, it's just very open-minded and a mature pace and environment, because as I started this channel where I was 22, I'm now 26 years old. I'm learning and growing and evolving. And when it comes to learning and growing and evolving, there is no age expectancy to life. So you're going to constantly go through trials and tribulations. But the most important thing is finding a solution. This is a solution based platform, as well as expressing how you feel when you went through things. Like, we don't hold grudges. We don't allow people placing things that weren't for us to make us bitter, to close off our heart. This is really an open place of love and acceptance, because when it comes to your healing, that's the highest frequency is love, and that's what I'm about. You can't give love if you're not able to receive it, and you can't receive something if you're not willing to give it. So I just want to talk about not forcing yourself and just allowing things to naturally happen for you, because when it comes to your healing journey, nobody knows what it takes to be you. Nobody knows what you've had to gone through. And yes, people are going to be in your life momentarily, but everyone is in our lives to teach us something, whether it's short term, it's long term, whether it was beneficial in that moment, whether it makes sense a year from now, a month. It doesn't matter. I just want you guys to know, to one, when it comes to your healing journey, just to continue to be patient with yourself and understand that things take time. And the more time and energy it takes for something to process into your life, the more you're able to appreciate it, because no moment is the same and nothing in life is going to last forever. So the goal is just to be very grateful, learn the lessons, and not continue the same cycles. So as you're experiencing life, because the title says experiencing withdrawals, that's what we're just going to talk about briefly. Is as you experience something, you're going through something. So when you go through something, it doesn't mean it's going to last forever. That's why, yes, there are 7 days throughout the week. Yes, we all have the same 24 hours, but we all don't have the same resources. Like, we don't all do the same things. Like, what we do, what you choose to do, how you choose to feel about yourself is based off of what you're familiar with or what you may be comfortable with. And I just want you to know that if you're trying to elevate and grow, you don't have to rush when things happen to you, because as long as you are taking every single day for what it is and expressing the gratitude, things are going to happen when it's supposed to. And from experience, you never want to go out your way to force an opportunity in your life if it's meant for you, because you actually taking your time and energy to force things that you want will not allow it to, stay within a long term. And if you want things to last, you don't want it to be temporary. You have to allow things to happen when they need to. And that requires just patience. So, like, as you're withdrawing, and I'm just going to look up that word for you guys, that's something I like to do. So, as a naturopathic physician, when I first started this channel, I like to use natural resources such as, using a dictionary, books, my personal experiences, talking to my clients, talking to people who I've, grown throughout my community on all platforms and just everyday life. And the purpose of me doing this is just basically, once again, to give a different perspective, because when it comes to healing yourself and understanding who you are, you don't want to have a limit. So if you look at life, let's just say one way, or if you're used to things being a certain type of perspective, if you limit how things could happen to you, or because you're familiar with everyday life, you don't allow yourself the grace or the expansion that you need to grow. So when you're withdrawing something, to withdraw is a noun. So it's an action. You're removing, you're abolishing, you're taking out. That's like if you have money in a bank account, you're going to withdraw your money. It is being replaced. And that's the same thing when it comes to everyday experiences. As you're healing yourself, as you're learning to love yourself, as you're learning to be patient with yourself, what you used to be familiar with is not going to resonate. And I need you to know that is a part of growth, and it doesn't have to be negative. Something that I recently was talking about on my other platforms is acceptance. Like, there's negative things in life, there's also positive thing in life. Once I explain to you all is just the perspective. Like, if you can continue to just be patient with yourself when it comes to healing yourself, because everything in life doesn't always have to be negative. Like, you're not always going to have bad days. And me personally, from experience where I was when I first started my channel to where I am now, every single day of my life has not bad. And to be very honest, I grew up very fortunate as an individual. I had certain choices in my life that caused me to think that I had bad days, but it's just a decision. And once you are learning from the choices that you make from your past because they no longer last, you will realize that having a bad day is not something that's going to last forever. And that can also help your attitude. And if you're trying to evolve and grow and become a better person, your attitude and your mindset is something that I really just want you guys to understand, to be patient with. Like, where I was at 22 years old, like, for those of you who don't know, I moved out when I was 21. I've been working since I was 17. It wasn't until I was 21 that I became an entrepreneur and a businesswoman, versus now at 26, working for myself and just going through trials and tribulations, understanding what it takes to be a business owner to now. And then, like I said, I started a YouTube as well. I was living by myself, having people, places, and things that were in my life compared to now, and just realizing that honestly, I don't like to regret anything. And I'm grateful for everything and everybody, because as you're able to, like I said, shift your perspective, change your attitude, and appreciate why you went through the things you did, it was literally just to help you. It's literally just to inform you and allow you to become the best version of yourself. And even though, yes, some people may not have the best intentions, some environments may not have been the best for you, but it served a purpose. And once you realize that things in life are meant to serve a purpose, and once the purpose is no longer fulfilled, you can continue to live your life. Like, I don't want you all, for anybody who's watching this for the rest of this month and this year, to feel like you're stagnant or that you're stuck or that your life is just so horrible and that you're not ever going to be able to be appreciative or that you can't move forward, because that's not true. Now, if you choose to limit yourself, and this is why I'm going to be talking about the withdrawals of healing and your emotions, if you choose to say, well, every day is a bad day because that's all you're familiar with, you're not wrong. You are whatever you choose to tell yourself. You are whatever you choose to believe. You are whatever you choose to feel. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to healing yourself, is the emotions, because the emotion, trigger warning, is temporary. How you choose to feel about yourself is a reflection of your reality. So, for example, when I moved out at 21 years old, I was going through a lot of personal things amongst myself, but when it comes to business, like I said, I've been working since I was 17. I didn't let that interfere. And even when at 23, 25, now 26, I've never lost sight of things that were most valued to me. But because I was going through certain things, still, I didn't allow it to discourage me. At the time, when we go through things that we think are so horrible, for me, it has been one of the most valuable lessons in my life. And once you realize that as you're going through things in your life, how valuable and how significant it is to your life, you can learn to express the gratitude. You will realize, okay, I was only in this situation so I could better have you know, appreciation towards people, places, and things. Or I was in this situation to learn more about myself. Like the times where I was in situations or environments or just anything that wasn't like for my higher self, which, if you think about it, when you change your perspective, you will realize that things do work out for you. It's just you're not able to see it because you're experiencing it. But at the time when I was around people, places, and things, so I thought weren't the best for me, I realized because people may influence you and how it's just gonna help you. Like for me, I'm grateful for everything and everybody, because I love to be a teachable person, meaning I don't know everything, but I've only gone through certain things in my life that I can, express on this platform and for you guys, and to teach and educate the best way I can for those of you who choose to, because life is literally just about our choices. Like, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You don't have to sit here and degrade yourself. You don't have to feel depressed and experience your anxiety every single day if you're able to just, make time for yourself. And me personally, being a young lady, being 26, like I said, running a business since 21 or 20, honestly, I've learned the ins and outs. I've learned, you know, a lot more wiser decisions and choices that are more impactful. And that's the goal, honestly. Like, once you learn how to realize how the choices in your everyday life affect you, you can understand, okay, like, how is this going to benefit me in the long term? How is this going to benefit me right now in the moment? And how did it make me feel? And when it comes to withdrawing your emotions from situations that don't serve you, whether it's through a people, a place, an environment, you will realize what it was meant to teach you. And a lot of people throughout my life, as I've gotten older to heal myself and not be angry or bitter, once again, what for me, it was just confirmation. Like anything and everybody from my past that served its purpose just was a reminder and a reflection of how I have to continue to support myself, how I gotta have continue to appreciate myself and love myself. And that's the same thing. Like, I don't want you all to think that the people who traumatize you or the trauma in your life was to break you or make you feel less than, because nothing can make you feel less than and unworthy if you don't feel that way about yourself. Like, people are constantly going to speak on things that they're unaware of, especially if it doesn't bring any value. And I just want to suggest and advise to not allow that to discourage you or to take personally, because a lot of people who are not you and haven't gone through the things you've gone through, of course, it's easier for them to voice their opinions and say things that they would do or that they wouldn't do, or just be negative. And that's not what you want to focus on. Like, there were a lot of things in my life that were negative. I was negative at one point, but I've had to realize I was negative because what I was choosing to focus on, the people, places, the things that didn't have any value. And, once you realize that it's okay to be negative, it's also okay to be positive, you just contribute like how things affect you. Like, life really is just about perspective and doing what you are okay with. Like, you don't have to have $1 million to be happy. You don't have to have materials to feel worthy. Like, I'm not the type of person, once again, who defines my worth based off of materials or status. And I wouldn't recommend that anybody would feel as though that they have to be successful to have materials or status, because that's all it is, a label. That's like when I first started this channel, I was just telling you guys I was a spiritual physician, a life coach, a motivational speaker, your rich auntie, to actually telling you guys what I do in real life, which is being a doctor, someone who does work holistically. But just having this YouTube channel and allowing myself to be comfortable, that's why I've always made my videos like before or going to bed, waking up, just being really vulnerable and allowing myself to be seen for those who are, supportive of me. Like, it's not our job in life to worry about anything that's not bringing us any value. And even though, yes, you're going through trials and tribulations, is not to validate your experiences, but to be grateful that you had the opportunity to understand why you went through the things you did. And the more honestly you can learn to confess with your decisions and your choices, the more you're able to realize it's just a moment. Like, nothing in life is going to last forever. And I'm very big on people knowing that nothing in life is going to last forever. So, just not being hard on yourself, like, the more you can really just look at things from a different angle. Like I said, if you're like narrow minded or small minded and just look at things because that's all you know, and you don't take the time to take a step back or spend some time and energy to understand or validate yourself and how you feel, things are going to be very black and white. And there is a lot of other colors in the rainbow. Rainbow is all of the colors in one. So it's like, in order to see a rainbow, you have to see rain. You have to understand that there's blue, there's black, there's white, there's red, there's orange. Like, it's so much more to life than your past. And as you're withdrawing yourself from your past that is no longer in your present day, it does become very like clear, like your intentions, the motives, the people, the places. Once again, whether you thought it was negative or positive, like, in the moment, it does seem a lot more negative. It does seem like things are never going to end and that you can't overcome things. But once you realize how things have affected you, you can be like, okay, I went through this. I was surrounded by these people. I was in these environments. I made these choices because of X, Y, and Z. And the more you can just learn to just forgive yourself, because that's another thing when it comes to The withdrawals as you're healing yourself, in order for you, what I wanna, like, personally recommend that works for me and has been working for other people once they have allowed it, is forgiving yourself. Like, I had to learn how to forgive myself for being in places and spaces because it's one thing to sit here and just blame everybody else and my situations and the environment, but it's just like, what was I doing? How did I feel? And how was I showing up for myself? And it's okay. Like, personally, you have to realize when things are not for you, it's going to make you feel like very uncomfortable. And what I had to realize, the things that are being removed, and that's like the withdrawals, the negative energy, the thoughts, the doubts, the low self esteem, whatever you're going through, suicidal, the depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, is just an experience. And once you realize the experience and how it affected you, you don't have to put so much like passion or focus on it. Like, you will realize that you felt depressed because you're around people, places, and things that didn't pour into you the same way. You felt angry because you weren't, taking care of yourself. You felt ugly because you didn't groom yourself. Like, everything in life is going to be revealed when it needs to. And I'm at a point in my life where it's just like, allow things to happen the way they're supposed to. Like, you don't have to force relationships in your life. You don't have to force people to understand you. You don't have to force people to appreciate you. And from experience, I've never lost or had anything taken away from me that did not serve a purpose, but actually brought value into my life. And from experience, like with my mentors, death is something both physical, mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. It's something that's very powerful just as much as life, and that's the opposite. And when it comes to death, you have to die in certain situations. You have to allow things to die. And that's like the seasons. Like, it's not going to be the winter time. I think next week or in a couple of days, it'll be the springtime, then it'll be the fall time, and then summer, and then before you know it, it'll be a new year. Like, death is really important when it comes to healing. That's like a physical death. And as you experience death, things die. And once you allow, your past to die, you allow your emotions to die. That's all a part of the withdrawals. You will once understand, like, you went through these things for a reason. Like, you never, and I don't want to wish that on anybody. Like I said, you never want to go through life being regretful or angry or being disappointed in yourself, because a lot of us, we make decisions, like I said, based off of what we knew. Like, all of us have made decisions. I'm just very open and I guess transparent and vulnerable about what I've gone through because, one, I know who I am, I know what I want to do, and I know how my life is affecting me. And everybody else is just the people who try to shame you the most, the people, the environments, like I said, that you may think are negative or not for you, they're just not meant to be in your life. So when something or somebody's not meant to be in your life, it does make you feel triggered. It does make you feel uncomfortable, but it's a reason. And you have to understand, anything or anybody who is not comfortable in themselves is not going to be comfortable around people who are. And to me, like, that's what I've experienced the most, like a lot of projection throughout the 26 years of my life, but I've never like, I don't take it personal because I know I'm not equal to people. And once you realize that you can't be anything other than yourself, what other people think about you in a negative way, it shouldn't like make you feel any type of way, honestly. Like, people, once again, who don't know you, who have not gone through what you've gone through, are gonna have the most to say. And me personally, I don't respect people like that. And I wouldn't want anybody watching this to take that personally, because it's like, when people, places, and spaces have respect for themselves, they're not just gonna say anything to go against you. People are not gonna intentionally try to destroy your character, how you look, your image, how you speak, how you talk about yourself. People are going to be inspired. People can give you a compliment. People are going to be happy for you. People are going to want the best for you. People are not going to gossip about you to their family, their friends, or anything that is not meant to be in your life. Like, let it go. Like, let it go so you can grow. The more you're able to withdraw and just understand how things are, resonating for you, you can continue to live your life. Like, the more you take time to yourself to actually heal and not, sweep things underneath the rug, because a lot of people try to sweep things underneath the rug and they don't realize the more time and energy you try to sweep things underneath the rug, the dirtier the rug is and the more you have to clean, and it's like a whole bunch of skeletons in your closet. And the goal that I have for anybody watching this, anybody who supports me, is just to be straight up front about how you feel. You should never be embarrassed or feel insecure about expressing yourself. Like, the longer, and I'm speaking from experience, the longer you hold on to things, the more it's gonna bother you. And it's just like you don't want to explode. Like, before I was able to become this young lady and actually have the emotional intelligence, there were some things that I would realize how it affected me by not confronting it immediately or just speaking up, because it's just like you didn't know how. And that's another reason why you don't have to be so hard on yourself. And it's really important to practice forgiveness, is because if you're not familiar with something, you may not have the guidance, you may not have the resources. It doesn't mean that you can't learn or that you're a bad person, but it's just like once you do learn and once you do realize how things affect you, you can move forward. You don't have to limit yourself. You don't have to allow the lack from your past to discourage you or stop you. Like, if I was to really allow anything that wasn't from my past to hinder me, I wouldn't continue to make videos. I wouldn't continue to be where I am now, and I wouldn't continue to grow. Like, yes, things are gonna come and go, but when you are aware of who you are and you're secure within yourself, you know that already. Like, I've never allowed anything or anybody from my past, because they're not in my present life and they're not in my future, to make me feel bad about something. Like, people can only be embarrassed if they feel embarrassed, and everything that I've gone through publicly, and that's another reason why I've created my platform, because it's just like, nobody should have that much influence over you. I don't care who it is, your mom, your dad, your brother, your coworker, your lover, your friends, like, and it just goes to show that everything and everybody is not for you. When people have respect for themselves, and I'm telling you, as you're withdrawing yourself from things that are not for you, if people and places that are meant to be in your life to serve a genuine purpose, because people are in your life to teach you things or to be a blessing or a lesson, the people that I have their genuine intentions, whether that's an environment, like company, material items, it doesn't matter what it is not going to make you feel unease or unappreciative or unworthy. And to be honest, for me at least, a lot of the times where I thought I was going through a lot, it was literally just because of my surroundings. And once you realize that some people, places, and spaces are not for you, like, that feeling of unease or being unsatisfied or a lack will disappear. It's literally like it's an illusion. Like, it's an illusion just as much as it's like a cloud, like that dark cloud, that energy, because it doesn't belong to you. And a lot of us make choices because when you do have genuine intentions, when you do have a good heart, like, I don't believe in people pleasing, and I don't like when people say that. And I don't think you should stop being a good person because everyone didn't have your best interest. It just means that some people are unworthy of your time and energy. And me personally, speaking from experience, a lot of things in my life weren't for me. Like, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, this person's a bad person." Like, yeah, people are aware of what they do and people do things on purpose. Like, don't be confused, like, don't be naive. But when you know that, the reason why, for me at least, I would just allow things to happen, because that's who I am as a person. I'm allow things to happen. Like, I don't always believe in speaking on certain things unless it needs to be addressed. And because I was aware of that, I've allowed a lot of things happen, because the best way to me when it comes to life is letting things happen naturally. So it's just like once you realize that certain people, places and spaces are not for you, you don't have to speak on it. Everything will align the way it's supposed to. And that's what happened. Like, a lot of things that were not meant for my highest good for right now and in my future, it was removed out of my life. And I didn't complain. And I don't think you should beat yourself up or be so hard, because, like I said, as you're experiencing life, because it's a journey, you will start to realize, like, okay, I'm not in this relationship because this person wasn't for me. Okay, I didn't get that job because I'm not meant to work there. Okay, I didn't get approved for this, because you want better for yourself. And as you're learning to withdraw, so as you're going through your past, your present, your future, because it's all connected, it's just the choices that you are making for yourself. Like, as you continue to go through life, like if you guys remember Dora the Explorer, it was Dora and Boots, and she had a book bag and she had a map. As you stay on your path, excuse me, to heal yourself and love yourself and be the highest version of yourself, you're gonna go through things like Swiper used to come and she'd be like, Swiper, no Swiper, and try to stop him because just because things happen to us, just because there are distractions in our life doesn't mean that you have to stay distracted. I genuinely believe that if you're meant to be something or somebody, it doesn't matter how many people try to come up against you or take your energy or do certain things to make you feel less than because that's its purpose. And once you realize that everybody has a purpose for everyone, like everybody has a purpose. Some people are aware of their purpose, some people aren't. I, like I said, have always been familiar with my purpose. It just purpose can take some time. Like you don't want anything just to come quickly because if it comes fast, it's gonna go fast. And speaking from experience, like relationships that I have now in my life, I value those. I don't believe in just being around anything or anybody just to be around them. And even when I was younger, I had that intention of stability, but because everyone is not me, I don't expect anyone to be entitled to me or think like me. I had to accept that. Like, I had to accept that, some people are going to do things because they're selfish or it's beneficial towards them, but it's just like what you do is who you are as a person. And once you realize the character and the development, you will just realize that it's okay that certain people did things that they did. Like, just because somebody chose to be a bad person or steal from you or rob from you or lie to you, cheat on you, it doesn't matter. Like, that's who they are as a person. And me personally, I wouldn't want that for you. Like, you deserve better. And as you choose to withdraw from your past, you will just realize your worth, what you are worthy of, what you do deserve. Like me personally, I wouldn't want anything or anybody, regardless of what anybody's done to me, to suffer. Like, in order for people to hate on you or to think you're ugly or to discredit you, people have to feel that way about themselves. And a lot of people, because they lack character, because that's all it is, okay? Because a lot of people lack character, they're too prideful to admit that. And speaking from experience, you never want to be prideful. Like, it's okay that you don't know everything. Like, I don't know everything. So I can't be a know it all. And that's the same thing with you. Like, I don't get offended when people have experienced certain things in my life that I haven't. It just means I don't have the same experiences as them. Like, you have to understand that just because certain people have been exposed to certain things, they're not a know it all. People can only feel based off of what they're familiar with or what they're willing to learn. And that's why me personally, I've never took anything or anybody who didn't serve as my highest good personal, because that's all it was a reflection of character, of self. And the more you go through your trials and tribulations, the more you withdraw from your past, you even realize within yourself, like it doesn't have to be people necessarily that teach you about yourself. It's you more so. Like me personally, the people in my life, the places in my life, the environments in my life were just literally let's just say like an obstacle, because it's like I'm the one who had to wake up every day. Like you're the one who has to wake up every day. You're the one who has to get what you need to do done. Like you're the one, you. Yes, other people are going to be able to contribute, whether it's long term, short term, same thing with an environment, but it's you necessarily. That's why I tell you guys not to allow status or materials to determine your worth, because it's like from experience, having cars, having monies, making $1 million, being broke, not having, somewhere to stay. I've never allowed that to make me feel unworthy. And I feel like a lot of people attach themselves to people, places, and things like materials and status and feel like if they don't have those things, that they're not worthy, which is not true. And it's just like once you continue to withdraw your emotions and heal yourself from your past, you will realize I've always been worthy. I've always been beautiful. And that's the same thing with anybody watching this. Like, you've always been beautiful. You've always been handsome. You've always been that girl or that guy if you have genuine intentions. And even if you don't, like, What you do, you just need to understand what everybody does is a reflection of who they are and what they know. So once you can accept that people don't know everything and some people are trying, they will grow, they will change, and it's going to happen when it needs to. And the best kind of change is naturally. Like, you don't ever want anyone to be in your life just to be there. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, I've had to learn I'd rather be alone than to have people in my life who don't even want to be in their own life. And you got to understand that anything or anybody who is constantly negative, who does gossip about you or environments that are not for you, is not for you. Like, it was for you in the moment so you can realize, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be around you. And it's like, learn from it. Like, the best thing that I could say about me that I'm grateful for is that I am a teachable person. So everything and everybody from people, places, and spaces, I've obtained some type of knowledge because it's like if you're not able to learn from others or your environment, you will be limited. And that's the only reason why things are considered to be low vibrational, such as people, places. And I wouldn't even say the environment necessarily because the environment is a location. Like, people, which is a community, make up an environment. So it's like if you have a group of people who are not willing to learn or educate because they're comfortable with where they are, that's on them. Like, and you have to understand that, like, when it comes to your healing journey, what may work for you may not work for everybody else. It's okay. Like, other people do not have that much power or authority over you. That's why, me personally, from experience out of my 26 years of life, I've never and I will never allow anything or anybody who is not serving me in my highest good to make me feel some type of way about what I've had to go on through and how I felt about it because it's not for me. People are constantly, especially just speaking from experience, the best way I would like to explain this is like two sides, just like life, negative and positive. You're gonna have negative people and negative situations try to influence you because that's all it is. And that's the same thing with positive. So it's like if people are not like spending time with you, getting to know you because they have genuine intentions, it doesn't matter what it thinks, like, doesn't matter how people feel. Like, me personally, from experience, I don't care. Like, I don't have the energy, and a lot of people focus on things that don't help them grow. Like, that's why I constantly tell you guys, like, if you're not gonna be able to clap for other people or give credit when it's due, like, worrying about people and keeping up with people and talking about people that you don't like is just a reflection of who you are. Like, and it's nothing wrong with disagreeing. It's nothing wrong with not liking everything and everybody because none of us are equal. But when you sit here and say you don't like something and you constantly focus on it, you constantly feel the need to tear it down or bring it down, you are focused on it and you do like it. But like I said, being prideful is not a flex. Like, a lot of people suffer with their ego, which is their flesh. And it's nothing wrong with having an ego because it's normal, but it's just like you want to balance out your ego, boys and girls. Like, real grown adults and grown women out of my 26 years of life, because I've met some, everyone's not immature. There are some good people, there are mature people. Once again, it's just a reflection of yourself. So it's like if you just have this ego that you're high and mighty and that you're better than people and that nobody, like, once again, like, you just have to learn how to pay attention. Like, as you're healing yourself, you learn to pay a lot more attention. You're a lot more observant. Anything or anybody who is not for you, and it won't last. It won't get past you and it won't last and it gets exposed. That's why, me personally, I've never been the type of person to just react or respond just because, I had a mouth. Like everything I do is very intentional, very strategic. And it's just like when you have nothing to prove, it doesn't matter how anybody feels. Like people who don't have genuine intentions who watch my content, I'm not telling them to watch my content. I don't tell nobody who doesn't have my best interest to keep up with me because that's a reflection of who they are. But because I can't control what other people do, I'm not going to lose sleep at night because people don't have genuine intentions, because people are talking about me, because people don't know what I'm really going through, because people that's like there were a lot of people in my life throughout my younger years, because that's what it was. It's just very immature, like immaturity. But there were a lot of people in my life who were just very immature, and I had to outgrow them because it's like if I'm going through something or I'm telling you how I feel and you brought it up to my face because you thought I was going to be embarrassed, that's what you're embarrassed about. Like, I've never felt embarrassed to publicly I have a platform, that's why I started this YouTube channel, to expose the truth. Like, the only people who are offended by the truth are liars or people who are not telling the truth, and that's the tea. Like, a lot of immature people, places, and environments I'm no longer surrounded with, and I don't feel no type of way, but it's just like, in that moment, in that time, as you're healing and as you're learning yourself, you will realize like, okay, if I tell you how I feel, or if I'm going through something like and I'm being vulnerable, like you should never feel embarrassed or ashamed. And anything or anybody who tries to make you feel less than is just not something you should want to like. I wouldn't recommend that. And that's just what it was. A lot of people, as I was healing myself, like even me living in Colorado, the things that I exposed myself to when I moved. So before I moved to Colorado, I lived in Kansas. Like if you guys don't know, I lived in like over seven different states, and I've been to 8 different countries. Like I've been traveling ever since I was 1 years old. So it's just like people only see you in the moment, and that's another reason why I tell you guys to just keep going and just reflect and forgive yourself, because it's like you're the one who knows how you really feel. And like for me, because I'm so dramatic and I'm learning not to be as dramatic, once again, me being around people, places, and things who didn't have the best interest for me, realizing that it was a choice. And that's why I personally, I'm not upset or can get upset about anything from my past because I also allowed it. And that's a lot of things a lot of people don't want to admit, is that in order to be in a certain place or an environment or for things to happen to you, you have to be there. Like, I'm not just gonna blame my past or the people, the places, and the environments and just be like, "They caused me all this trauma." That I know, because it's like I'm the one who chose to be there. I'm the one who chose to go through it to a certain extent. Now, there were some things, of course, that were out of my control, but the goal in life is to focus on what you do have control over and not to sit here and dwell over things that you can't change and that, that's out of your control, because it's life. And once you learn to withdraw your emotions and understand that you're going through things because it's supposed to teach you something, you won't be so hard on yourself. Like, you don't have to be angry, you don't have to be upset, you don't have to continue to hold grudges towards people, especially if a good majority of the time everything that you're going through is for your highest self, is just for you to learn when you're meant to, and you don't have to force that. Like, I've never had to force any relationship, any person. Like, even when people do wrong by you, them doing wrong by you, to me, like, the older I get, I just learn to be grateful. It's like, to me, it's a blessing, because it's just like when people are removed out of your life, let them go. And I know you're like, but that was my best friend, that was my mom. Let them go. Because it's like once you learn to withdraw your emotions and not feel guilty about your past and the trials and tribulations that you experience, you can receive everything that's meant for you. Like, I don't want to continue to live my life as I get older and become the best version of myself to have anything or anybody who does not contribute. Like, the goal in life is to find peace. Like, that's the whole another reason why I started this channel, is for people to find peace. And whatever their peace is, is for them. But for me, peace is just being around people, places, and spaces who are themselves, and me just being who I am. And it's like, in order to be accepted by the world, you have to be accepted by yourself. And, like, really quickly, guys, I'm looking down on my phone. I'm about to make the thumbnail, so just give me a second. I'm just gonna make the thumbnail while I'm here. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm about to make the thumbnail. But, like, you really just wanna find peace as you're elevating because it's just like nothing in life is gonna last forever. Okay, I think that's better. Nothing in life is gonna last forever. So, like, once you learn to accept that people and places and spaces are only in your life to add value or to teach you something, because to be honest, that's what I really want to talk about. Like, if you learn to change the perspective of the narrative, you will realize, and I just recently seen somebody talk about this, there are no bad moments in your life. If you choose to think this way, if you choose to feel this way, like if you can learn that the bad moments are either a lesson and the good moments are a blessing, you will realize everything and everybody in your life from today, from your past, and even in your future is for you. And like that is honestly what growth is and maturity is, but you have to experience life to mature from things. Like when I first started this channel, I was 21 years old. 21 or 22 years old, I don't know. It was a while ago compared to at 26 where I was living, like having my own business in real life, having a business, selling insurance, having a YouTube, like just going through trials and tribulations, moving. Like I said, I lived in 7 or 8 different states without 26 years of my life, like meeting so many people, having relationships, travel, like it's just so much to life. Like, don't limit yourself just because you made certain choices, or once again, those bad experiences were to teach you something. And to me, because there's good and bad, you want to balance. Like those bad moments to me as I get older, it was never a bad experience for me because when you have genuine intentions and you're a good person, you don't lose. And I'm really tired of people justifying other people's actions. Like I've never lost a friend, family, or nothing that was for my greater good. People get removed out of your life because their time is up and they're there to teach you something. Like all the bad people or all the bad places that were in my life have taught me one of the most valuable lessons in my life. And every single person I've came in contact with, from me at least, taught me a lot about myself and them. And you have to understand like the environments and the people that you're going to come across, like I said, hold to placements. Like I said, they're going to teach you lessons which you should be grateful for, because that bad moment, for me, all the bad moments in my life was just confirmation, and then the blessings that help you get to become the greatest version of yourself. You don't have to sit here and allow moments in your life that you thought were so discouraging to affect your entire existence. Like, because you were in, or because I was in certain situations, like, it helps me grow. Because, like I said, when you have genuine intentions, when you're a good person, it doesn't matter what people think about you. They're not you. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If you know that you're going through something, one, you're the one who has to go through it. So you're the one who's going to handle the situation, and it only affects you. All the people, places, and things that are no longer my life, I could care less about what is going on because it's not in my life. Like, and it's not my job. Like, it's not your job to focus on anything that's not gonna like help you grow or make you a better person. Like, why would you want that for yourself? And the more you can, like I said, change your perspective and just realize all those bad moments and all those bad days were just supposed to teach me something, I'm telling you, you will learn to sleep peaceful at night. You will learn to be so grateful. You will learn to be fortunate. You will realize, you know what? It wasn't that bad after all. Now, if it affected you in your everyday life, then yes, you have to learn how to live with it. Like, there are some things, you guys, I have to take to the grave because it's like I don't have a choice. Like, some lessons, and this is why I'm telling you, like, just to learn from the experiences that you've gone through, because you don't want life to beat you up and hit you upside the head. Like, you don't want to continue to be stubborn. You don't want to continue to be hard-headed. Like, learn the lesson the first time. Like, stop ignoring reality. And that's another thing. Like, stop justifying other people's actions and behaviors. Like, people are who they are. And for me at least, the longer you sit here and you're just like unwilling to accept things for what they are, the more you may suffer, which is just learning a lesson. And I'm laughing because it's just like, it's not all bad. Healing does not have to be a negative thing. You guys know I'm a transmuter. I don't believe in negative energy. Like I said, people being rude and mean and disrespectful, like that's I don't I've like I said, I've never justified anybody's actions, and I've never allowed projections that were not from me to affect me, because I'm not you. And that's like when people have opinions. People are gonna have opinions because that's all they know. Like the people who had opinions that were negative of me, like that's who they are. That's how they live. And I'm not them. Like, you should never want to be anything other than yourself. That's why I always tell you guys, like, to not compare yourself, to not be envious or jealous. Like, because it's like when you are insecure, when you're jealous of people, when you're envious of people, it's going to show. And it's just like, it's nothing wrong with having insecurities and being triggered, but it's just like, if you really loved and cared about yourself, you'll work on things. Like, it's not an issue. Learn to be teachable. I don't understand, like, to a certain extent, like, because I've had conversations with people in real life, and I just ask them, why people not do the things they do, but how they feel. And like a lot of people said the same thing, that they don't like when other people are trying to, like, tell them something or feel a certain type of way. But it's just like, if you have that much pride and that much ego, like, how do you think you're gonna grow? And speaking from experience, like that's a lot of tea. If people learn to put their pride to the side and learn to put their egos on pause, it's not to say that you can't have one and that you can't have opinions, but it's just like, if your pride and your ego doesn't match your lifestyle and isn't allowing you to grow, is it really worth it? So hold on, you guys. I was trying to make the thumbnail, but I think I'm gonna do it over again. So if you're joining the chat, give me a second. I'm looking at my phone. And then for those of you who are new, I be going back and forth with looking at the camera as well as the monitor. So right now I'm just about to look at the monitor so I can make this thumbnail. So hold on. Oh, hold on. Not it taking the picture already. And happy St. Patrick's Day, you guys. Like I said, I just happen to wear green. I've always been that type of person. Like when I was little, they'd be like, if you don't wear green, because I used to believe it, if you didn't wear green, you will get pinched by a leprechaun. So let me take this thumbnail for you guys. Okay. Okay, I think this is gonna be the thumbnail. I took the thumbnail twice, and that's something too. Like for those of you who are OGs, y'all know I used to already have the thumbnail, the description, but because, like I said, I've just been growing and evolving myself. Like life is about change, and like once you can learn to accept that life is about change, you will grow with the flow. And like you just gotta be patient. I know that's so much easier said than done, and I know you don't want to be, but it's just like once you can learn to be patient, you will realize why things are happening for you and how it's affecting you. And the more patient you can be with yourself, the more you're able to forgive yourself and just realize that, okay, like this person was supposed to teach me this, or I was in this situation because of this, and I learned this. Like, you will stop being hard on yourself. Like, being hard on yourself is just because the lack of understanding, like, to be honest. And eventually I can talk about that later throughout the year, but it's just like a lot of people who are suffering because they're not speaking up. And that's why I'm telling you guys, always express how you feel. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you because anybody who has respect, only disrespectful people are going to try to disrespect you. And that's a big no no. It's a red flag for me. Like, I am 26 years old. I'm a grown woman. So it's like at this big age, if you don't have respect for yourself, you won't even be around me. And I won't be around you. Like, I don't care who you are. And you have to understand anything from your past, it doesn't exist. So what you did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a month ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like it's not in your everyday life. And if anything or anybody is continuing to do so, that's the frequency that they're on. And it's like you can't do anything for them. So it's just like anything or anybody who, once again, I don't believe people can use information against you. Like there are a lot of people I've told certain things to, and once again, them telling me like I didn't tell them, like I don't feel no type of way. I'm not embarrassed. You can only be embarrassed if you're embarrassed. So it's just like if anything from your past tries to come back, you just got to move on. Like life is about growing and evolving. And once you learn, like I said, the withdrawals of your emotions, how things affect you, you will realize like it's nothing to be like sad about forever. Like life, like I said, does not have to be as chaotic as it seems. And it's only chaotic because people are not being vulnerable. Like, why are you embarrassed to talk about what you used to go through? Like, I love to talk about my past as I'm healing myself and become the best version of myself because how else, if you don't express how you feel, rather that's through a licensed therapist booking a session with us by following us on Instagram and Twitter at Square Guidance or going to my website, which I put in the chat and in my bio in my description, how you want to elevate. And that's the thing. The only things that are not growing are people, places, and things to try to make you feel bad. But it's just like those are not people that are gonna be in your life to help you elevate. So it's just like a win is a win. Is that really a bad thing? Like, I don't think outgrowing people is such as it's such a bad thing as people try to like, oh my God, but it's like, girl, I don't care who you are. Because it's like if you loved yourself and that's to be honest, that's the tea. If someone really love themselves, they gonna have respect for themselves, and that's all I gotta say. Like the older I get, that's character is the only thing that matters to me. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, red. None of that stuff matters. How you carry yourself, how you present yourself. You guys, I'm making the thumbnail, so if you see me looking down, that's why. How you carry yourself, how you present yourself. That's what I'm paying attention to. And I've always been like that, but it's just like the older you get, you will realize like, okay, a lot of people don't care about themselves. And once you realize that people lack character, you're not about to sit here and make excuses for them or justify their behaviors. Because it's just like if they don't even value themselves or it's just like you can't do anything. Like I could sit here and lead you to some water, but I can't make you drink. And it's like you shouldn't have to. Like anything, that's how you know things are for you. You should never have to go out your way to make it seem like people have to be in your life. People have to support you. That's why, like me personally, I tell all of my genuine supporters, if you like something, if you appreciate it, like, comment, share, like don't not support because I want y'all I'm gonna just give y'all some tea, and then I'm more than likely gonna end this video unless y'all have any questions, but it's just like keeping up with people and not supporting them makes it worse. And I want y'all to know that, like, when people spend, because a lot of people talk about the lack of support, if people go out their way to watch what you do and they don't, like, publicly like recognize you or be grateful for you, that makes it worse. Like they look like a stalker. And I'm just I'm just gonna say that like what you focus on grows. So it's like if you don't have genuine intention to support somebody, going out your way to keep up with them, it just shows your insecurities. And that's what I just want everyone to start paying attention to and understanding like people are gonna have insecurities. It's normal for people to have insecurities, but it's just like then projecting them onto it doesn't do anything. And subconsciously and consciously, like I said, throughout my entire life, People spend so much time and energy doing that. My bad, you guys. I'm just now anytime I'm looking down, I'm on my phone. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask. If not, I'm just gonna end this video and post this and just maybe for the rest of the time being, just do live videos. Like I said, I like to do the live videos because it's more personal. I'm able to interact. It's more, I feel like more authentic. And it's not to say that I'm not gonna be posting daily uploads. It's just like I said, I have a lot. And that's another thing. I don't constantly talk about what I do unless I did it already because it's like, what's the point? Like when you have nothing to prove, you don't have to sit here and show off and tell people you did X, Y, and Z. Like I've never been that type of person. And the only people who do that are people who are really not content with themselves because it's like, why do you have to prove that? Why do you have to tell people that? Like, what I do is for me. And I feel like when people are really content with where they are and who they are, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't need validation. Like, I don't need to tell people, "Oh, yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. I do this and that." Like, I let people think whatever they need to. And not just that, when you do let people think whatever they need to, their judgment of you, like, that's on them. And you got to understand that's another reason why I don't allow projections that are not for my greatest good or for people I would look up to make me feel bad because there are a lot of things in my life. Once again, they're not in my life, they don't serve no purpose, who are going to have something to say. And that's their job. That's like someone who hates on you. It's their job to be a hater. It's their job to try to make you feel bad because they're not happy. It's their job for people to gossip and spread lies and spread rumors and degrade your character. It's their job. Like when you are not happy or satisfied with yourself, what do you think you're gonna do? And in those moments, and like I said, it's just a teacher. It's just a lesson to realize, like, I don't ever want to be like this person, and I don't want to surround myself with these type of people, places, and things. And once you realize that it's not for you, you just move on. Like, I don't have to sit here and focus on people who are miserable. Like, people are being miserable for free. Like I said, going out your way to keep up with people and not publicly supporting them, it makes it worse. And I really wish people knew that, so that's why Imma say it, like, I'm not afraid of nobody, like, never be afraid to be yourself, especially on my platform, like, I never understood why people spent so much time and energy that's, like, on social media and just in real life. If you disagree with somebody, okay, cool, but to try to change their belief systems or challenge them, people said what they said, and they're not embarrassed or oversharing or overbearing or insecure or intimidated, like, we're not all insecure. And this is not to be on a high horse, but we're not equal. And once you stop comparing yourself to people, places, and things, you will realize what works for some people, it is their business. And I'm telling you from experience, when people learn to mind their business and focus on themselves and do things that bring them value and joy, what other people got going on wouldn't trigger you. And you have to know that those people, places, and things that trigger you in a negative way. So the bad, even though that's just a teaching moment in your life. And once you realize that people are negative, like anything or anybody who intentionally goes out their way to misinterpret you or to bring you down or to make you feel less, it's a teaching moment. That's why me personally, I'm not mad at anything or anybody from my past. I accept my past, I forgive my past because it's like, what can I do? It's over with. And you have to realize once something is done, it's done. Like once something is gone, it's gone. Once you live through certain things, like it's about to be the springtime. So I need you to know that life is going to continue to go on. Do not allow moments and choices in your life to determine your whole life. Like, yes, you may have to be rerouted. Yes, you may have to, take more time and energy to do certain things, but it doesn't mean like you could lose a car, you can lose a lot of, excuse me, materials, but you can always get it back. And if you lost it, depending on how you look at life, was it really for you? That's like a relationship. I don't want to be with like my husband. I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't have enough respect for themselves to know that nothing or anybody should be able to come between our relationship. The friendships that I have, I don't want to have friends who go to the internet and can't tell me how they feel or be shade. Like, you don't want that. Like, you should want so much better because you deserve, like, all of us are willing to deserve so much better, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to do that. And you just have to understand the reflection of character. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Live your life. Don't forget to stay YOLO. Once again, if you want a one-on-one session, make sure you go to our website at tyguidance@summer.com. The month of March, I'm not gonna lie, is predominantly booked up. The chances of you booking for this month, you may have less than like 2 or 3 days, depending on the appointment time. If not, the month of April will be updated. And if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ty_guidance, you will have all of that information. So make sure you follow us there. All of that information will be in the description. And I do have to take some time and energy to upload my descriptions, as well as when you come to YouTube, Teachings with Ty, Talks with Ty, all of my other platforms will be in my bio and in my description. So our TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, because we're on YouTube, and then my personal website for those of you who are interested in this session. Once again, I am a naturopathic physician, just here to suggest advice content. So if it's for you, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Happy weekend, you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying St. Patrick's Day. Whenever you're watching this, continue to stay hydrated, continue to focus on yourself, and just continue to withdraw your emotions and understand that some days may be a little bit more challenging than others. But as long as you show up for yourself and you pace yourself, everything is going to happen the way it needs to. And the goal is just to learn to express gratitude and to be patient. And the more patient you are, the more you're able to understand. The most important thing when it comes to life is living. So if you can wake up every single day and, speaking from experience, just learn to be more uplifted by being patient and express how you feel. Like, be vulnerable. Once again, anything or anybody who is not allowing you to be vulnerable, anything or anybody who has to dim your light is just not for you. And it's very much that simple. It's very simple. Once you learn who's for you and who's not, you will continue to get to where you need to be. And it doesn't matter like how long it takes you to get there because it's you. So if people are not going to finance you, feed you, or educate you, cut them off. It doesn't matter. Everyone is gonna it's 8 billion people in the world. Their opinions do not matter. Because when people have respect for themselves, they're not gonna bring you down. No man is gonna be jealous of you. No woman is gonna be jealous of you. No little child is gonna be jealous of you. No job is gonna be threatened by you. People who are meant to be in your life because they have the same energy as you are gonna be grateful. They're gonna support you. They're gonna uplift you. They're gonna pour into life. They're gonna allow you to exist because taking up space is not an issue. You don't need permission. And you don't need anything or anybody who does not want you to be your better version of yourself just to for them to try to keep up with you or try to steal from you or try to bring you down or any of that. Because what people fail to realize is if you steal something and it doesn't belong to you, you're gonna get caught. It's just only a matter of moment and when and how it happens. And you don't ever want to get caught.